Welcome, kings and queens. Today, I have the privilege of chatting with Maria Isabel. Her Instagram handle is Maria Isabel, so make sure you check it out. And I will dive into that a little bit more. Her Instagram is fire. It is awesome. It put a smile on my face watching every single video. You can see her passion in every one of her reels, every one of her posts. Maria is a bilingual New York City sports reporter who captivates audiences worldwide with her passion and love for sports. So get ready for an exciting journey into the world of sports journalism. Welcome, Maria Isabel.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and thank you for the amazing introduction. It makes me so happy that by you watching my Instagram put a smile on your face.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So you can, and as we discussed before we started recording, you can tell in every single one of your videos that you're passionate and you absolutely love what you're doing. And it's refreshing to see because there's so many people nowadays who are just working jobs. They're going in, they're kind of like zombies clocking in, and they're looking at their watches and looking at their clocks, just waiting to go home. And I can tell that it just seems like you are living a dream each and every day in your reporting. So can you just kind of tell us a little bit about? Let's dive in. What are your fondest memories growing up that are sports related? And did you play organized sports growing up?
I'm glad that you say that about my Instagram because I remember when I decided that I wanted to be a sports journalist, which it was when I was in college. I was like, I want people to feel what I feel when I watch sports. And it feels like what you're saying, I am doing that. So that makes me very happy. To answer your question, I did not play sports growing up. I my first memory with sports, it was that my first ever medal in sports was chess in second grade. But yeah, I basically did, you know, ballet. I played the piano a little bit. I was trying to do cheerleading. I grew up in Colombia until I was 12 years old, and then I moved to New York City. But yeah, funny thing, I was never really into like sports. I was not anti, but I was not, you know, not they didn't really call my attention. I don't know if it was because maybe I was in Colombia and that was still like, the stereotypical of that's for the boys. Because I do remember um my group of girlfriends, we wanted to make like a soccer team, and my mom was for it. She was like, "Yes, do it." She's always like, "The more active you are, the better." And then, but then my friend, she told her mom, and her mom was like, "Soccer is for boys, not for girls," and that's the end. That was the end of our soccer team. And but then it wasn't like I was so passionate to play or anything. If anything, I'm a little scared of the ball. But yeah, it was just until I grew up and I started a little bit before I started college. I started CrossFit, and that's when I became an athlete.
That's what I was going to say, Laura. Can we discuss the CrossFit? Can you elaborate that a little bit more?
So I mean, I had always wanted to, have abs and, work out or whatever. And I remember CrossFit was starting to be a thing, or I don't know, I saw someone doing CrossFit and that caught my attention. My friend was looking also for a CrossFit, so she looked at the best CrossFits in Queens, New York. And then she found what it's my CrossFit now. We both went to like the trial class. I don't know, I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with CrossFit is, yes, it's heavy weights and a lot of like things, but it's like you're competing against yourself mainly. And also you create like a kind of community.
Okay.
There was like this one time when like everybody finished the workout, and I was still like doing something. I don't remember exactly what was it, but I do remember it was with a barbell, and everybody surround me, and everybody started cheating on me. And
Nice.
after that, I felt so good.
Right.
And also like I had always been very competitive, and I always like to do things differently and be different than anyone else. And like at that time there were not many like the people around me were not doing CrossFit. And so it felt nice. And yeah, I've been doing CrossFit, and I've been in the same gym for like 9 years.
Wow.
um CrossFit was actually my first bill that I had to pay. So I basically was working to pay my bill, my CrossFit gym membership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you went to you came here and you went to it was at Brooklyn College, correct?
Yeah, I mean, when I came, I went to to middle school, high school, and then I went to Brooklyn College. Yes.
Okay. So why New York? Was it you just came here excuse me, specifically for school, or did you just always wanted to move to New York?
Well, I was 12 years old. I didn't have a lot of options.
Okay.
My mother decided that she wanted to move to New York,
Okay.
and so yeah, I was just brought here.
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't necessarily your choice, just wherever your family. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. All right. So let's move on. What initially drew you to this career, and did you attend school for journalism or broadcasting? And was it hard to get to where you are now?
So yes, I went to Brooklyn College, and my major is journalism and media studies. I always knew I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. Not always knew that I wanted to be a sports journalist, but I always knew I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. And then was it hard? Wait, what was the second question?
Did you attend school for journalism broadcasting, and was it hard for you to get to where you currently are now?
Um, I think it is being hard.
Yeah.
It is being hard. But I have enjoyed the journey, I believe, for the most part.
Hmm. Would.
I'm a very resilient person
Mhm.
and very stubborn. So I feel like, yeah, like I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it shouldn't be this hard. I think it has I don't know many people's journey, but I think for me it was like, it's been hard. I'm still not where I want to be. Yeah, it's been hard, but I have enjoyed it. So
Now, when we discussed before the interview, and you were saying that you were at a live sporting event and you went live with Facebook and you're interviewing fans. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more and just what gave you that idea?
okay, so that moment, it was Copa America 2016. It's a big soccer tournament in South America, but they came to play here in the United States because they were celebrating the 100th anniversary. My family got tickets, really good tickets actually, behind the net. The game was against Peru, and we went to penalties. And the penalties were where we were. So I went live. I don't know what went through my mind to go live. I guess I had always liked the cameras. Um, and Facebook, I mean, in 2016, I'm sure Facebook just launched Facebook Live.
Right,
And so I went, and a lot of people connected from Colombia, from here. They
right.
were commenting. They were like, "Oh my God, keep broadcasting." And so I was like, "Okay, Colombia is making a goal, blah blah," and things like that. And then I remember I saw a couple behind me,
Okay.
And one was a Peruvian. The man was Peruvian, and the woman was Colombian. And I was like, "Oh, hey, how interested? How you guys feel?" And I don't know. I guess it was natural. It was natural that I started interviewing them, and then I started interviewing people like in front of me, who didn't look Hispanic. So I was like, "Oh, how come you're here?" and things like that. And I just enjoyed it so much that time, that soccer match, that it was a turn point for me. It was then when I decided, oh, I can do this for the rest of my life. I want to be a sports journalist.
Now, that is a great transition to my next question. New York City is a city with such rich sports culture. And so, how do you navigate the diverse fan base and what makes you unique from other reporters?
How do I navigate it? I think last year, it was it was like the first year where I was more exposed to different fan base, like the near Knicks. Um, Before last year, I have gone to like near New York Giants games, to baseball games. I love baseball.
Right.
But then I went and actually covered games at the Madison Square Garden, and I was exposed to these different fans. But how do I navigate them? It's I believe I am like I'm not from here or there. I am just like a person. Like I'm from everywhere, I believe. So I think like fans are just like, I love the passion they have. I love fans, and so they all are very different depending on the sport. um it's nice to see like also like how they behave, like how different sports fans behave in different arenas and
Yeah.
stadiums. uh Also, I don't know. They're just I don't know. It's like it's so hard for me to say like diverse, because this is where I live, you know? Like I
Right.
cannot compare them to anywhere else, you
Okay.
know? Like I just live in the jungle, you know? And it's literally a jungle. Like every fan, it's crazy about their team. They scream, they curse, they, and we also have fans from around the world,
Right.
so when I did like a project with FIFA 2022 World Cup, men's, where I went to different restaurants, bars, and I was interviewing people from around the world, that live here. So I know people from Croatia, from Iran, from Morocco. So interviewing these fans that usually are not covered is so, so nice. Um, so I think that's what makes New York City different from any other state,
Yes.
is that we have this diversity. And I mean, other states can claim that have the diversity, I guess California, but it's not as big as here, I believe. And also, like, transportation here is very accessible, so you
Mhm.
can connect more with them.
Right.
What makes me different from other reporters? I guess my accent, uh, that I can speak fluently in both languages. I can easily, and this is a skill that one of my professors told me on college, and it's like I can switch languages right away. I can be talking to you right now in English, but I can fast switch it to Spanish y empezar a hablarte en español sin tener que pensarlo dos veces. I can just talk to you, not thinking about it twice.
Wow.
Um and that's something I have tried to keep. I have
Yes.
always like I have it is a lot of work to do my videos in both languages, like put subtitles and do all of that. It is like, an hour extra of work, and I have tried to eliminate it, but I just can't, because that's who I am.
I
I
don't think
am
you
a
should.
bilingual. I that's Maria Isabel. You know, I speak Spanish, I speak English, and I have both audiences, and I just cannot cut their head to one or the other.
Mhm.
So
I think that's great. That's your, I'll just, for a lack of a better word or a term, that's your superpower, and that's what sets you apart from other reporters.
yeah.
Mhm. Can you share a standout moment in your career that left a lasting impact on you, either in terms of a thrilling game or a memorable interview?
Thrilling game or a memorable interview. I think since I'm still in the beginning of my career, like I feel like a lot of games are very fun
Hmm.
for me still, and I do try to like
Enjoy
to
it.
not lose that like I get to do this, like I'm coming here. People are dying to come here.
Right.
Um so every time I am in a sporting event, I guess when it's really big. When my first time that I went to the Madison Square Garden and I went to the
Yeah.
court, uh, I mean, for me, I didn't grow up watching basketball, but I know it's a big deal. Um, and my mom did play basketball growing up. She always told me how she will wake up at 5 in the morning to train and all of that stuff. But then, so when the first time I went to the Madison Square Garden, I went to the court. I did what I had to do, and then I went up, like not realizing I was in the Madison Square Garden until I was going up. And then I remember in that game, Aaron Judge was there, and they announced him, and I was like, "Wow, I am in the Madison Square Garden,"
Right.
the most famous arena of the world, and I was just in the court doing my thing. Like, it's so empowering. Also, taking your tripod, your light, your camera, your microphone, and do it all by yourself. Um, so I got teary eyes. But also when I was in the final of the US Open, of the women's US Open, I was also inspired there. I had Coco in front of me, like few
Wow.
feet in front of me, and it's moments that I don't take for granted. And so it's all these moments that I'm like who I am, to be here. Recently, I covered the final of the Major League Soccer, but getting to the final was was a lot of work, was a lot of rejection, was a lot of like also reaching out to people. So those moments are defining your career because those moments either make you or break you,
Right.
and so there there are moments where like soccer players. I remember a soccer player was retiring at Red Bull Arena, and then his speech like just touched me. So like I learned a lot from like the players. They don't give up when they miss a shot, or like when they just don't score, things like that. They keep trying. So that's how we should treat our career. Keep
Absolutely.
trying. And so although these moments are very, very, very defined. So like I'm still very new to my career, so I think every moment it's just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah. So
Or
you,
at least I'm still trying to see it that way.
yeah. So there are times where you're kind of lost in the moment, like I'm actually here in Madison Square Garden.
You know, um, I've been very like focused on my career, and I always wanna make the best video or be better, or people around me to look at me like I am a professional.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to be very intentional
Okay.
about feeling the moment. So there was one time that I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the Madison Square Garden, and before I do anything else, I'm gonna stand up in the court and I'm gonna look around and appreciate that I'm there. So you might think like I have to intentionally be like, I'm gonna enjoy the moment. I'm gonna l- be here, sit around, or look around and appreciate where I am.
I remember you had a post, a reel on Instagram that you actually said that, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty
Did
sure.
I?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have a post where you kind of show like, yeah, sometimes you got to take in these moments and appreciate where you are and every, how far you've come. I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's well. This leads into our next question. You just kind of hit on some of the challenges. So, what challenges do you face or have you faced in the fast-paced world of sports reporting, especially in a dynamic city like New York City?
I mean, one of the obstacles that I still face is that I want to cover everything and anything,
Okay.
but I'm only one person. And that's something I think last year was like, I'm just going to create content, whatever I want,
Hmm.
whatever I can get access to. Um, and then this year I want to be more focused and more intentional, but I think what that's one of my biggest obstacles is like I want to do everything and anything, so within sports. um other challenges, I don't know, I still think my English is not up there and I still wish it was better. um
You speak better English than most Americans, and they know one language, so I wouldn't stress that too much.
I guess. What else? I don't know. I still wanna get more brand deals. I wanna like I feel like social media is so hard nowadays to like create a following. So that's one challenge, like sometimes I look at my reels and I'm like, they're not, a lot of people didn't like them or didn't watch them, and I know like brands still see that a lot. So that's one of the challenges. Um, Another challenge is like, you want to be a journalist and then not so much an influencer, but everything comes with the job. So it's trying to like loose it up a little bit.
Okay. So, if I'm sure you have sports that you're familiar with, but when you want to dive in, diversify yourself, what is your process of learning a new sport?
What is my, I just start watching this sport. I start asking questions to people that play or know the sport. I start going to the sporting events.
Okay.
I start reading a lot of the sport. I'm just like a person of like, I just dive in, like I just put my head over head, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
And that's it. I don't know.
Well, you seem like you do a great job because like I said, every reel and everything I watch, I can't be like, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about. No, you seems like you are very aware of the rules and you ask the right questions. You know how to interact with the players, and what I love is that your interaction with the fans. Those are the videos that I love. Those interviews are great because they, like
I
you said.
know people love the fans interviews. People love them. I think it's because fans, and honestly, it's one of my favorite people to interview. Mostly when you are like independent, because I mean, I get it. You work for ESPN, NBC, like the big, the big companies. You have to interview the players, and the players are more accessible to you. But like, I feel like when I interview players, they're more like PR
Okay.
trained. So they're not too
Uh,
fun,
uh,
like after a game, if they win, they know what to say. If they lose, they know what to say. So it's not
okay.
that fun.
Okay.
Um, the fans don't care. The fans just tell you how it is. If they're frustrated, if they're happy, if they want to scream, if they want, like, they don't care, and I love that. I love how passionate fans are.
Mhm. All right. Could you remember a funny or an unexpected incident that happened while you were covering a sporting event, whether it's with the fans or whether with the players?
Funny. I mean, there has been so many things, like at the Sometimes you have like a really good interview and then your microphone didn't work.
Oh yeah.
I think those are the worst things. I guess that's not funny, but like those are the things that happen. Funny, I don't know. I cannot think of much. No, not
Or
funny stuff.
or I know this is not something you probably want to bring up. Was there ever a moment that you just like you almost like died inside, or it's just something like you never want to think about again, or you don't want to ever go through that again?
Not that I can remember. Probably I just, but I'm sure there are moments that I just, uh, yeah. I mean, one of the things which now I look at it and it's silly, it was like when I first covered my first ever time that I had a media prize, and it was to cover the New York Red Bulls, and it was through another company. I took a picture with my credential on, because I was showing off, and then they reach out to like the editor, and they were like, "Oh, yada 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 is taking pictures, blah blah." So the editor sent an email, a general email saying, you cannot take pictures. I was like, I wanted to die. I was like, oh my god, like, but it's so dumb, nowadays it's so dumb, but I was like young, but it's so dumb. At that time I remember I wanted to die. But there has been so many times that I was like, oh no.
All right. Okay. Let's hit on social media. So in the age of social media, how has the landscape of sports reporting changed, and how do you leverage platforms to engage with your audience? Which you do an excellent job on Instagram.
I mean, that question is like, I don't know, this is all I know,
Okay.
I don't know how it was before.
Okay.
uh I think that would be a question for like a more, you know,
On older.
veteran
Yeah.
sports journalist who like was there. But I mean, I did go to like this panel where there was like veterans
Mhm.
journalists.
Okay.
There were writers. Um and they will talk about like how they will like after a game they have to go and finish the story fast, and things like that. But I cannot relate. I sometimes wish it wasn't that fast. The social media was not that fast. Because by the time I post a reel, half of the world already knows what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Can you? Well, there's another one of your videos that I saw, and you kind of broke down attending networking events. Can you just talk about that and how to utilize those events to your benefit?
Yes, those are very, very important. If you go to school or if you didn't go to school, there is something that they always tell you, and it's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Okay.
And that's very, very important. And going to networking events, no matter what your career is, no matter where in your career you are, going to networking events is just expand your network. And one day you're gonna have like, I don't know, an event that you wanna go or something, and you're gonna know someone. Like, I know for the MLS final, it was because of people. Either they have seen my social media, they have followed me for a couple of years or months. They advocated for me. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. Um, but I'm sure it was someone. So networking is very important. And on that note, I wanna say that you always wanna keep your social media. If this is something you wanna do, just keep it very professional.
Mm.
Very professional, very like you. I don't want you to be someone you're not, but like, I don't know. I will say keep your patties for you. Um, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't talk about that because anyone can do whatever they want with their social media. But I will say, I will just say this: people are watching.
Yes.
People are always watching. Like, you don't. you don't know who's watching, but a lot of people are watching your job, whether it's good or bad. They're watching. And I have noticed that, like in the past year, like towards the end of the year, people will tell me, "Oh my God, tell me how you feel about this year. You have accomplished so many things. You have done all of this. You're always busy. I was like, how do people know all of this? And I don't realize, like, yeah, I put all of this on
Yeah,
social media.
yeah.
um and I was like, wow. And there's, again, there's people that never like my videos, but they're watching,
Mm,
they're watching. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. So just keep in mind that whatever you post on social media, people are always watching.
absolutely. And I made a little bit of a the folks that I have on my Facebook, they're people that I've known for years. I don't really let just random people into my Facebook. It's more me sharing my personal stuff. And so I made something that's a little bit confrontational, but I think there were folks that understood where I came from, especially in my journey, because I'm not a person that really spend a lot of time on social media. I don't have a big following, so I'm really starting from nothing. And so you notice that certain people will post certain things in order to get likes or attention. And it, to me, it's taken away from your integrity. And I don't really want to hit on it too much because I don't want anybody to feel I'm
I
being
mean,
disrespectful.
I think also like giving your opinion is not bad.
Yeah.
It's actually good
Mhm.
because people wanna know what you're saying. I think I wanna be more open about that too. But just keep in mind, people are always watching.
Right.
Just keep in mind that.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Is there one person that you can think that was has been instrumental in helping you?
Oh, so many people, like so many people in one way or another. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for like so many people. If I went to the Madison Square Garden, was because one friend of mine said, "Oh, this person is looking for someone, blah blah," and then I reached out. I didn't go, I went to the U.S. Open because this other woman journalist, Marcella, she saw my hard work and she's like, you can apply through this. I went, like, so many sporting events, so many, like, I've been to one place. I'm here because you reach out to me.
Right.
Like, everywhere I've been is because someone helped me. I didn't
Right.
do it myself. And that's why networking is so important. And that's why you have to also help someone else. It's like that. You help someone else, they help you. Like, someone else help you. It's like that.
Right. Do you run into people who kind of like gatekeep and, well, no, I have a big following. Why would I help you? You are down here. Do you ever run into people like that?
I'm sure. I mean, there is people that I have reached out and they haven't reached out back.
Right.
I guess. I mean, like, in front of me, like that they have say I'm not gonna help you. No, I haven't.
Right.
But yeah, they're gonna ghost you. They're not gonna answer you. But just again, because someone is not willing to help you, there's other people that are willing to help you. They will do beyond more than what they are supposed to help you. And
Right.
so
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you
Right.
just keep doing good.
Yes. Now, this next question, this is really what I like to wanted to hit home on. But with the rise of women in sports journalism, have you faced any unique challenges, and what advice would you give an aspiring female sports reporters breaking into the industry?
I mean, obstacles, yes, I have, specifically because I'm a woman, not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just try to like ignore that
That's
kind
good.
of
Okay.
things, just focus on you, focus on getting better. I guess obstacles is like the way you dress. Sometimes, you don't know how to dress. You don't know if this is too provocative, if it's too professional, if it's so, like, I feel like we are judged more. because
Yes.
of what we wear, how we say things,
Hmm.
if we do this or we don't do that. So I think that's something. Aspiring a female journalist, I will say just just know what you're talking about. Be prepared when you go to the locker rooms. Look at people in their face. Go in your, in your more professional way.
Okay.
Um, and what else? People are gonna like, you have to have thick skin
Yes.
for this kind of job. Um, be yourself, and that's it. You're awesome. Like this job is like, it's you, it's your personality, it's your unique self, what is gonna stand out.
Hmm. Hmm. Great. Now, a more lighter note, how do you unwind and recharge when you're not reporting on latest sports events? Do you like going to, obviously, you like going to sporting events yourself, but what other things for some people who maybe don't get the chance to go to New York City and really take advantage of that? What do you like to do?
What I do, I go to CrossFit. I mean, CrossFit, I see also my friends, like there are friends there, they make me feel nice, so I go to them. um I I like baseball games,
Okay.
to recharge, because I feel in baseball games, I haven't report on baseball games. Like, I have done videos on baseball, when I go and watch the Mets. I love the Mets. Let's go Mets. But I feel like very relaxed in a baseball game, just sitting there, screaming here and there. Let's go Mets. So I like that. But when I really don't want to know anything about sports in a way that, because if I'm going to a sporting event, whether I'm covering it or not, I'm always gonna kind of a way to create content. And for
Okay.
me, that's already a job, like I'm already working. So I just try to, when I'm really like mentally tired, I book things with my friends. Like, I have a very close friends, so I'm like, hey, can I go and see you? Can we have dinner? Or can we, So I'll do that. I try to spend time with my family as much as I can.
Great. Yeah.
But yeah, I go to church. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Sounds like you have a very close and a great support group to power you through whatever that you have to get through that day, or that week, that month,
Yeah.
the case may be. That's very important. Yeah. Um, if you could interview any sports personality, past or present, who would it be and why? And what burning question would you ask them?
Past or present? Mm, I guess I will go with Pelé. Pelé is a soccer player.
Okay.
He passed away, over a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
but he was like, he changed the game.
Hmm.
He was a Brazilian player. I never got to watch him play live because when I was already watching game, he was already retired.
Hmm.
But it seems like his personality was really nice. Um, he came from a poor family, and he changed the game here in the United States too. Uh, I just would like to know more about his life,
Okay.
how he did it, more about like his thoughts. We admire all these players a lot. We admire them for what they do, but we also like admire their lifestyles.
Okay.
But then we don't realize how much they have to sacrifice,
Mhm.
to play in these professional sports teams. They sacrifice a lot of their lives, their enjoyment, their so I think that's something I will want to know of. Like any athlete, any and more like mainly like the very famous people,
Hmm.
how they do it. Like they have to be very mentally strong
Right.
to do all of this stuff. Also, we have, as humans, we have this tendency when a player is so good, they're god for us. But then once they screwed up just a little bit, we put them in hell.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, and I think it's so unfair, and we forget a lot of times that there are humans, but I guess they're superhumans because like they like how they do prepare mentally. I think there's we don't know much about that. Like we know they prepare physically a lot, but like how much mentally preparation they have and how do they prepare themselves mentally like that.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. We love to build people up just to tear them down. Just think about Tiger Woods. Like everybody loved Tiger Woods, but as soon as he did something silly, and rightfully he did some wrong things, everybody persecuted him. Uh, but you were talking about, what about Messi? How do you feel about Messi and what he's done for American, well, soccer here in America?
I wasn't like a fan of Messi before he came to America, to the United States. Like I was more of a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, so it was either or, and more because I was a Real Madrid fan and not Barcelona, and that's where they
Okay.
played. But I mean, obviously now, I mean, I have seen him play, and it's just so hard to not be a fan of his game, and like clearly it's very like it's not only culturally that difference that he makes, but also in like on the field.
Right.
Like he came and Miami start winning, crazy. So that's undeniable that he has a great skill for the sport. um what It doesn't matter with who he plays or where he plays, he
Right.
just gonna make a difference on the field. um I think we haven't seen all that he can do. All that, I mean, we're gonna see in a few years that the difference that he made for this sport.
Right.
But just by like one time I heard this, and I think it was in the when the U.S. women national team. I think no, I'm sure in the U.S. women national team parade in 2019 there was someone, I think it was the mayor of New York, that he said, we like we like good teams, but we like winners, or something in those lines, that the American people like winners,
Yes.
and for so long I think that American people ignore soccer because we're not good, right? We're not comparing to the world. We're
Right.
just very at least in the men's side, we're not good.
Hmm.
So Americans are like, F you, you're not good. We're not gonna support you. Because Americans like winners.
Hmm.
And they can smell winners. And as soon as Messi came, they knew Messi was a winner.
Right.
Messi had just won the World Cup, which
Hmm.
everybody knows about the World Cup, even if you're not a soccer fan.
Right.
So everybody knew who Messi was, even if you were not a soccer fan. So I think the American people, the American sports fans, even if they were not soccer fans, they received Messi very well because they knew Messi is a winner and American people like winners.
Right.
And so as soon as he came, I remember he did amazing goals in his first two games. Um, and I went to my CrossFit, and my friends at CrossFit, they're not necessarily soccer fans, but the first thing they will say is like, "Oh my God, did you see Messi's goal?" I mean, they told me because they know about my job and they know, uh, they know I follow soccer a lot.
Right.
But I was like, you have never named anything. Like for the World Cup, they kind of like got into it a little bit. The
Hmm.
most they will say is USA, USA. But like when Messi came and he did the goals, they saw the goals and they were like, "Oh my God, you saw the goals!" So for them to tell me this, I was like, "Wow, this is like it's different,"
Right.
And I think with all the soccer tournaments coming, Copa America again is gonna be this summer, and it's also gonna be here in the United States.
Okay.
And Messi's gonna play, so I think that's gonna be also a huge thing. Um, and then the World Cup is gonna be here. So all of these soccer tournaments, I'm sure Messi coming here, it's gonna be great for this sport.
Absolutely. How do you feel and what do you think about sports betting and what it's done for all sports here in America?
What do I think of sports betting? If I see it as a sports fan or a sports person or sports that works, like a person that works in sports, I think it's good. It opens opportunities, it opens jobs, it opens, the market. I think now as a human person, like I don't think betting is the best way to spend your money on.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think everything. I mean, if you know how to not be addicted to it, I think it's
Right.
fine and it's fun until certain point. I think betting also helps people keep engaged with the
Yeah.
game.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's the most important thing. Like I remember for the World Cup again, my coach was like, okay, who do you think is gonna reach the final, because he was betting and he wanted to pick those people. And so he was watching the games, yes, because it's the World Cup and everybody kind of want to be on the loop of it. But
Mm,
he was also like, he had a external desire, which it was his money. He wanted to
right.
win. Yeah.
Right.
So I believe that betting does make you engage a little bit more on the sport, like in the game, and like how many yards, how many touchdowns, how many, and the more specific you bet, the better
Right.
the more engaged you are with the game. But I mean, it can become addictive, right?
100%.
And then very damaging.
Yeah.
So if we see it that way, then it's like I don't like it too much. But like you know we can say that about many things.
True.
So
True. Right. Yeah. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose, or anybody can afford to lose a dollar. But fantasy football is huge here in America, and it's always going to be. And now that sports betting is legal almost every state, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And I'm sure the leagues appreciate it because that means there's more money that's coming their way. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The Olympics. Do you have any plans of going to the Olympics, or have you ever? Is that something that you want to do in your lifetime?
Yes, it's something I want to do in my lifetime. Like one of my goals is to cover every big sporting event.
Hmm.
So the Olympics is there.
Yeah.
I do not have plans to go to Paris for the Olympics unless like a big miracle happens and I get to go. But I will be watching here.
Hmm.
I still have to create my game plan, but yes, I'll be watching. I
Yeah.
love the Olympics.
Yes. Yes. And so, pretty much, soccer is your favorite sport to watch and consume. Is it your favorite sport to report on as well?
Wait, why are you assuming soccer is my favorite sport to
It just
watch?
because like
Yeah.
seems like when you were passionate about it, when you're talking about it, and you said Pele was your favorite player, and that was a player that you wanted to interview. So that's just my guess. I'm trying to read you. This is the poker player in me coming out.
I mean, I feel like soccer, it's the sport I grew up watching
Okay.
or knowing. But then obviously coming to the United States, it opened, the doors for so many sports. And I didn't want to be known just for soccer. That's
Okay.
why I diversify my content.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's my favorite sport to watch.
Okay.
When I turn on the TV or when I am in a sporting event, like I just feel the same way about every sport. Let's put
Okay.
it like that.
Okay. You don't want to be put in a box. You want to be open and diverse. And you okay? I like it. I like it. Okay. Great answer. All right, so let's play. We talked about this, so let's play a game. Play a little game. It's called All In or Fold. So you can either go all in, that means put all your chips in the middle, or just give your 100% on something, or fold, just like, no way, no chance, I'm not doing that. And I think you alluded to this already. But if you had to pick one New York Major League Baseball team to win a championship in the next 5 years between the Yankees or the Nets, which team would it be? Which team would you go all in on the next 5 years?
Wait, the Knicks?
Yankees or the Mets? Mets, my bad.
Oh, Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you said go
I
Mets.
am a Mets fan.
Okay. It's
I'm not. It's very hard for me to say I am a fan of certain teams because once you cover them, you kind of like love them
okay.
and you want them to do good.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, I haven't covered professionally either of, and I have gone to more Mets games than Yankees games.
Okay.
Uh, and I just feel I'm a Mets fan. I am a Mets fan.
Okay. Okay. Who is your
So
favorite?
I want the Mets to win. Yeah.
Who's your favorite current Mets player?
Uh, Pete Alonso, I guess.
Okay.
Is
What?
he still?
I have no. See, I'm not a big baseball fan. I was.
He was in that last season. I don't know if he's
Okay.
gonna make it 2024, but he
o-
was.
Okay. I was leaning on you for the help with the baseball. I don't have. I'm not too familiar. Um, with baseball. I don't think they were that good when I was growing up. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're that good. I remember when Justin Verlander was on the Tigers, and that's pretty much as far as my knowledge goes when it goes to baseball. But I do, like you said you enjoy going to baseball games. There's just something about a baseball game, just going, being at the park. It's not necessarily. I guess they changed the rules, right? So it's a little bit more fast paced. But
It
it's just a
is.
great place to go and just to socialize, be with your friends out on a beautiful day. There's nothing really better. I enjoy going live. I just don't like watching it on television.
Oh no, no, no! I will sit down. I will sit down and watch a game on TV.
Okay, okay. So all right, all right, you're all in on baseball. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch a
Oh, you
game
would
on
not. You would
TV.
not.
No,
Okay. Okay. You like
I
being there,
wouldn't.
being in the moment. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
I
And
mean
this, go ahead.
for baseball.
Okay. Okay. So this one may be a little bit tricky. This will be the last question and we'll wrap up after this. If you had to go all in and only report on one New York sport team, which going forward, I know you probably a question you don't want to answer, but it doesn't, and I'm not trying to force you to answer, but if you could only report on one team or sport, what team and sport would it be?
A New York sport.
Mhm.
I wanna say a league or a sport team.
Either or. I'm trying to elaborate on my question to get a little bit more out of you.
uh, I kind of wanna say the Knicks, but
Mm,
one of my goals is to be a Spanish reporter for either the Giants or the Jets.
okay.
So yeah.
Okay. I do. You said the Knicks. So I do have a question for you. I've never been to Madison Square Garden. What's so special about that arena, that stadium? Why does everyone say it's the best place to watch a game?
I mean, again, I haven't gone to any other basketball arena.
Mhm.
Oh no, actually, I went to watch the Lakers game.
Oh, what? Okay. All right. So you've been to the best two venues to go to. That's awesome.
I went to watch the Lakers. I didn't have much fun there because first LeBron wasn't playing. Second, I didn't have the best seats. But
Okay.
there I was jet lagged.
Oh,
So yeah, I didn't have the best experience there.
okay.
But what makes the Madison Square Garden so special? Anything can happen. I think the Knicks have that magic that anything can happen. I think the history also that brings to the Madison Square Garden. Um,
Do you think it's a little bit of the celebrity aspect? You never know who you're going to see there.
Well, that happens in California too, no?
True. True. Yeah, Lakers. You. Yep. Same thing.
Um, I'm not. I don't think people go there to see what celebrity you want to see.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? I
Right.
mean, I don't think that's the first thing. I think it's just because it's New York City. You know, New York City is just it's just a place to come. Like everybody wants to come to New York City at least once.
Right.
And so Madison Square Garden being in the center of New York City
Hmm.
makes it so unique. I mean the Knicks have a great history too.
Hmm.
Um History because nowadays they're not really haven't done much.
Yeah.
Even though this year, 2024, they've been undefeated. So I don't know. They're very. I cannot tell you what makes different because I cannot compare it, but I can tell you what it's like to be
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So it's like it's very loud. People have different chants for different things. Um, when I was covering the Knicks last season, I had to sit on the bridge. So it was like up there. It's called the bridge. It's up there, but you have like a great view
Okay.
for the court.
Okay.
During the playoffs,
Ooh.
the bridge moved. Like it was insane. Like because people were so passionate. Like you
Wow.
can feel like this thing move. Um I think the entertainment is amazing there. They always have like, I guess, I guess it's similar to every arena, but they have karaoke, they have dancers, they always have a great singer for the anthem. Or, I mean, that's questionable, but like, they always have something different for the anthem. Um, Again, the celebrities that look alike. Um, all of these things make the experience so much fun. Um, and again, the Knicks just anything can happen. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I went to my last Knicks game was last year, in November. I went for an in-season tournament game,
Ooh, nice. Okay.
and people were like, and I went just like a fan, and people were like, "This is the best game you could have ever attended." Like I have friends who go frequently. They are season ticket holders, and they were like, I haven't been in a game this intense in years.
And
And
wow.
I do remember it was because the last minute any team could have won. Like it was insane and the Knicks ended up. And the thing is that in the first two quarters the Knicks were losing. So
Hmm.
they came back and they actually won that game. So it was nice.
Do you remember who they played that game?
I want to say the Heat, but I
Oh,
don't remember.
okay. All right. Yeah, that would be a good matchup against the Heat. The Heat always play hard.
Yeah, I want to say it was Miami Heat, but I don't know for sure.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, Adam Silver did an amazing job with that in-season tournament. Because typically, and my father says this every year, he says, "I'm not watching basketball until after either during the playoffs or after the NBA All-Star weekend, because there's really the regular season games to him are kind of irrelevant." And so
I
to,
I I told one of my friends who is a diehard Knicks fan,
uh-huh.
I was like, I really enjoy the in-season tournament.
Hmm.
One because they made it like a World Cup style, so it
Yeah,
was easy for me to follow.
yeah,
Two because I was like, for people who wants to like who are not like that, who are not like super fans of the NBA, this
right,
is an easy tournament to follow.
right.
Like it's an easy tournament to be like involved in.
Hmm.
It's like a lot like the World Cup, people might not watch soccer for 4 years, but they will gonna turn on their TVs for the World Cup.
Yep. Hmm.
I think obviously it needs improvements, but I think it's great. I think it's great to also gain more fans if
Yes.
they know how to market it.
Right.
But for me, I think they did good. I think one of the concerns they had before the tournament started was like, will the players play as hard as they do for the season and all of that stuff, and they did. You know,
Right.
they did play hard. So it was nice.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just as much as I enjoyed this interview. And again, we're right at that hour mark, so it's perfect. I truly, truly appreciate you taking the time to do this. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to do it again. We'll have a couple other things to follow up on. Maybe you'll be. I'll see. Like I said before we started this, maybe you'll be on a commercial. You're on ESPN reporting. Whatever the case may be, I guarantee you have some big things coming your way, and I'll be enjoying watching your journey, watching your reels, and hopefully some of my folks, some of my viewers, either family and friends, I'll put them onto your Instagram and they start following your social and following along as well. So I truly appreciate your time coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to keep connected with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, this is All in Society and Friends. Today, our special guest was Maria Isabel. Her Instagram is Maria Isabel. So make sure you check it out. I guarantee if you watch her reels, you'll get sucked in. You'll just start watching them over and over and over again. Make sure you watch the fan interactions and all her reporting and all of her interviews. And just stay tuned with Maria. She's going to be doing big things. And so until next time, guys, see you later.